The 2016 Japanese Grand Prix was a fantastic race. The team sealed the World Constructors Championship for a third time in a row. But what made it so spectacular out on track in terms of strategy, James?
It's an interesting race because the temperature over the weekend was fluctuating up and down quite a bit. The other thing is we had rain on and off. I mean, in the end, all the sessions ended up being dry, but it could well have truly been an inter-race or even an X-wet at some point throughout the course of the weekend. So we look here, first thing, air temperature 21, track 26. We actually had quite a bit more on Friday, up to about 32, 33. And with these tyres, definitely it changes the characteristics quite significantly with that amount of track change. The next element is over here. You can see a lot of the cars using that hard tyre during the course of the race, and the soft really primarily being used for the first stint and then going from there. Other aspects, no safety cars at all. Very unusual for Suzuka. It's a very tough, demanding track.
So let's go right back to the start of the race where Lewis fell from second on the grid back to 8th position. What did that do to your planned strategy?
You always make a plan of action for such eventualities, but everything changes as soon as you get more information coming in. The first point to note is we dropped out behind both Red Bulls, both Force Indias and both Ferraris. And the Ferraris and Red Bulls are very competitive teams, very, very difficult to beat them on track. And what it meant was we're looking for opportunities that were slightly different to these two cars, Kimi and Perez. What happens, they came in on lap 12 of the race and we used that opportunity. They dropped in behind Palmer, who's on a one-stop race, and both Williams on a one-stop. We used that opportunity to stay out. Lewis's in-lap was exceptional, really, really quick. We were able to just maintain that gap relative to those cars, come out ahead of Perez and Kimi, and then Lewis had an outlap of his life. He managed to overtake Ricciardo into 130R, very difficult corner. Going into braking to one, he then overtook the Williams, and then the following lap, the second Williams.
Watching the race as an outsider, it looked like Nico had a pretty straightforward race. Was it actually like that?
None of these races are really straightforward. They're all complex in their own right. Nico did a great job on that first into the race. He pulled the gap we needed to Verstappen to just a little bit of breathing room. The soft wasn't really performing like we wanted it to, so we'd highlighted we're going to go to the hard tyre on the next into the race. The plan was still a two-stop race from that point onwards. What then happened is he wasn't able to pull any more than a few seconds for Verstappen. We're under pressure all of the race, and he did a great job managing it. A little bit later on in the race, just to show you some of the complexity behind the scenes, he had a small gearbox issue. Within 14 seconds, the control engineers had highlighted that and informed Nico what the default mode he has to change. So on the steering wheel, he can turn off hundreds of sensors, and they highlighted to him which one he had to change. They fixed the issue, and that was 14 seconds from start to finish of that problem going through. He corrected it, and he kept on pushing for the win.
If we look at the end of race graphic here with all the different tyre choices, you can see different strategies. Are there any ones that stand out for you particularly, James?
Definitely. Great thing with these tyre rules this year, again, lots of strategic options appearing. You can see the medium tyre, the white here, wasn't used that much during the course of the race, but you can see it was used to great effect here with both Williams cars. They were behind Haas, behind Toro Rosso. That one stop they used ended up putting them ahead. Great job by them. Palmer with Renault doing a similar thing. The other thing that was really interesting, Red Bull here, lap 10 with Verstappen, he came in. Ricciardo, lap 10 as well, and Ferraris did something similar. They came in lap 12 with Kimi, and again with Vettel lap 12. So what happened there is both of those cars did something called double stacking, which means that you bring both your teammates in on the same lap. And the tactical advantage it provides you is one of surprise. If you have two cars and you bring the first one in, people have a hint that you're about to bring in the second or two cars in, and they can react to it. Whereas this way, you have a tactical element of surprise, and it works very, very well.
Thanks for talking us through Suzuka, James, and congratulations on the World Constructors Championship.
Thank you very much.